One thing everybody says about Barney Frank is that he doesn't suffer fools. And unfortunately, that's only half right. Barney doesn't suffer anyone.
I met Barney in 1991 in Boston at an event that he was speaking at about non-discrimination in employment, of course.
I first met Barney Frank in 1983, just outside of the Capitol. I saw him crossing the street, and I introduced myself as the executive director of the Human Rights Campaign Fund.
I first met Barney in 1990 when I worked for him on his re-election campaign. And one night at a fundraiser, I had clearly screwed something up or not done something as quickly as he would have liked. And as he was explaining to me what I had done wrong in front of the hors d'oeuvre table, he dipped his carrot stick into a bowl of ranch dressing and, turning to make the point to me in a very direct way, slowly but surely covered the front of my jacket with ranch dressing. And of course, in typical Barney fashion, when he had made his point and was done with me, he threw the carrot stick into his mouth, turned and rejoined the event, never noticing that I was covered with ranch dressing.
Barney used to live in DuPont Circle, and the DuPont Circle Citizens Association invited Barney to speak at a town hall. And at the end of his speech, they announced questions. And this very sweet little old lady got up and looked at Barney and said, "You know, Congressman, do you ever do these in your home district?" And Barney looked her straight in the eye and said, "Of course not. The people who come aren't as smart as I am, and besides that, they ask ridiculous questions."
So the most difficult thing about briefing Barney Frank is that you've got to focus on the legal issues while trying to tamp down the laughter from the joke that he just told.
When Paul Begala was going to an event honoring Barney, his Texas-born and raised father said, "LGBT, it sounds like a sandwich." When Barney got up to speak at the event, he turned to Paul and said, "Tell your father that LGBT is only occasionally a sandwich."
Congressman Frank once, during a particularly excruciating markup, a member of Congress went on and was increasingly incomprehensible. And Congressman Frank called me over and instructed me to go research whether inanimate objects were permitted to vote in that congressman's district.
Barney Frank does not enjoy spending time with boilerplate in his letters. He likes getting right to the point. One letter said, "Dear Mr. So-and-so, I received your latest rant, and while I don't read everything you send me as carefully as I read some other things, I couldn't help but notice an explicit lack of anti-Semitism this time around. Was a page missing? Signed, Barney Frank."
Actually, the scariest part about Barney is all of the awards he's won. I mean, you'd expect him to have won a lot. He's been in Congress for a long time, but the scary part is that he keeps a lot of these trophies, all sharp metal and sharp glass, on coffee tables in his office. And when you have a meeting with Barney, you're always afraid he's going to get so mad, he's going to pick you up and just throw you down and impale you on all of these trophies.
Well, Barney tells this joke on himself. When he came out, first thing he wanted to do, out of respect, was tell the members of the Massachusetts delegation that he was gay. And so he went to the speaker, Tip O'Neill, and told him he was a gay man. And Tip, being Tip, simply sort of wrung his hand and said he was disappointed because Barney could have been the first Jewish speaker. Barney quickly responded, though, or the second gay one after Sam Rayburn.
Right after the 2010 elections, Barney's chief of staff, Maria, came in and showed him something that she got, which was a stuffed version of a waterfowl mascot for a certain insurance company. Barney asked if he could take it for a minute. He took it, left the room, came back, handed it back to her. She, in horror, looked at it and said, "You cut its leg off." And he says, "Well, what is it?" with that smile. And he says, "It's a lame duck."
They're going to miss you in Congress. At least some of them will.
You're a hero to me, to thousands of other professionals who struggled with how to figure out how we were going to be gay and professionally successful.
Barney, good luck and congratulations on your wedding. I understand you're marrying Jim. Wait, is he gay?
Thank you for your leadership, for your courage, for your intelligence, and for all that you've done for LGBT Americans.
You've made it possible for all of us and millions of Americans to live openly and honestly.
Barney, thank you so much for trusting me to be a key member of your staff. You're the only member of Congress who's brave enough to have an openly trans person as part of your policy team.
You've been my mentor, my hero, my champion. For all the things you do and for just being you, I love you very, very much.
Barney, here's to you.